Hi, everyone, and welcome again to Microbusinesses on a Mission Facebook Live. I'm Emmy Damien, and I am, as always, discovering microbusinesses with a unique mission that helps make this world a better place. As you probably know, I also have a business with Beauty Counter, and our mission is to get safer products into the hands of everyone. This is actually our anniversary month. So you'll probably see a lot of my posts on that. But today, I'm excited to introduce to you a woman who has a unique mission to help other women. So women supporting and empowering women in a very beautiful way. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Mary Anne Wahle. And let's see if I can click you back on. Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, yay,
Wahle.
very
Hi,
rare.
welcome, Mary Anne.
Thank
So
you.
glad you agreed to come live with me today. Let me go ahead and let you introduce yourself because we also just met. So go ahead.
Mary Anne Wahle. I live in Northern Virginia. I've been in this business for 20 years. I have 3 adult children and 3 grandbabies.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so wonderful. And I'm just incredibly fortunate to have this job, helping women, supporting each other. But it's a joy and a privilege at the same time because women let you into their, intimate space. And so while I have several titles, if you want, I have an image consultant, a wardrobe consultant, personal stylist, but to be honest, it's like part therapist, part psychologist. There's, because we're multifaceted beings. So, you're listening to people's issues and you're solving problems, right?
Yes.
That's what you want to do for people. They have a pain point, they have a problem. We want to address that. So I thought of a new title today, which was kind of growing on me. The clothes whisperer.
I love that. That's wonderful. I think that's a good way to put it because it's making we can't help it. The invisible becomes visible in some way, in the way we speak, but in the way we dress and the way we hold ourselves. So yeah, absolutely right. And I think one of my guests was a hearing aid hearing services specialist, and she said the same thing, which kind of shocked me, was that she was also part therapist. Like, really? Because it's such a big part of family dynamics. So these things you don't think about, the clothes make the woman or the woman makes the clothes, which one comes first? So,
well, that since you mentioned that, that's a very common issue that I think most of us can relate to at one time or another, because there are unrealistic expectations in our culture and in the stores and the marketplace, and you see a pretty dress in a catalog or on a model, and we feel like we're never quite going to look like that, and then we critique ourselves. If only I didn't have curves, or if only this or only that. But your point is so well taken, I mean, that the clothes are for us, not the other way around. And I have observed, accompanying my husband to buy a suit, that the tailor comes out with his chalk and he marks it all up, and it's practically getting a custom suit. And yet we, who have all kinds of curves and attributes, expect things to just fit right off the rack. And so I'm a strong supporter, proponent of having a seamstress on speed dial, just because those of us who are short, those of us who are curvy, those of us who are tall, all of these are beautiful shapes and sizes. And that's one of the, let's just say, an issue or a challenge that someone in my business helps to solve, So I started thinking of just asking questions so that it would resonate and help people understand. Some people say, well, what do you do? Well, it's more like, when something like that just occurred? Why doesn't that dress fit me? Well, because that's a very straight cut shift dress and you are a curvy hourglass and it doesn't, follow your curves. It's straight, you're not straight. And so having a basic understanding of the elements of style, what's your body type, what colors flatter you, what's your personality, because your personality is incredibly integral to what you wear. So it's all integrated. So I usually ask a lot of questions, even ask, like, what's your favorite animal? What's your favorite season? And have a word bank and gather all of these words that eventually spill out and we distill into a style recipe so that nobody's categorized, like, oh, she's a this and she's a that. Well, she might be, but she also has a multifaceted personality. And so she's lots of other things, she could be sporty and classic and romantic when she feels like it, or she's a girl that likes options. So those are, the basic elements, and, add that, your lifestyle to that. But a couple of examples are, that feeling when you look in your closet and you think it's same old, same old. Same old. And now with COVID, it's like, wow, I'm embarrassed to count how many times I have worn X. And I'm really tired.
Yeah.
But
Or maybe not even looking at a mirror anymore, just throwing on.
yeah, and but we'll, towards the end when we talk about the mission, we'll just touch on that point about the why, right? Why bother? So, or else I have a lot of clothes, but I don't really know if this looks good in me, or that feeling of wanting a wardrobe that you love and it loves you back, and you just open it and it's like there's a party going on, and you're part of it. Or, do my clothes really reflect me? Do they reflect my personal style? Do they fit well? I'm not sure. Do they fit well? Do they flatter? And what I'm wearing usually make me feel pretty good, authentic, pretty, confident, pulled together. Now, I realize we're in a different time and place right now, but if you can think of that in sort of broad terms. Or another thought is, if you'd like to go from nice to wow, and that also aligns with your temperament too. Some people don't want to be wow, right? They want to be in the background, but they want to be classy, but they don't necessarily want to stand out. Or you're not sure what your personal style really is, or what your figure type is, or maybe you're trying to just keep your head above water. And you'd love it if somebody just came in and told you what to wear. You're busy dealing with your kids and, homeschool, or you might want to know what's the best thing to wear on a Zoom meeting, or your body has changed, or your weight has fluctuated. Thank you, COVID. We're snacks.
You've heard it all, right?
You're stuck in a rut. These are the kind of problems that people in our profession address. And so it's not superfluous. It's not superficial, because clothing is a language, right? It expresses who you are and what you mean, and why people wear certain colors when they're going to be prosecuting a case. They're not going to wear bright yellow. So there's the color psychology, there's when to call attention to yourself, when not to call attention to yourself. So in my personal business, I do, a wardrobe review, come in and, sort everything and just keep the pieces that are fantastic. And then maybe you're all set. For some people, they're all set. For other people, we make a list and, well, it looks like a camel jacket would tie at least 5 of these outfits together. And it's just sometimes having another pair of trained eyes. And what I commonly hear is, I never would have thought of putting those together. It's just because you've studied medicine and I've studied this, and so you're constantly working on your craft. So I do color analysis, which is unique to the person. I was just going to grab. So this is just an example of, where are we here?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I have a gazillion of these. So cool, warm, neutral, toasted, washed, tinted.
My goodness, they look like those things you get at home.
Yeah,
Home Depot for paint.
Yeah, they are. Well, these are cloth. These are fabric, which is really cool. But anyway, the point is just that it's the color analysis I do are very unique and comprehensive to the person. They're not, hey, you're this or you're this, because our eyes are different. Sometimes people change their hair. You're working with skin tone and you're working with personality. So somebody might like something a little bit brighter than what you're seeing, and you have to factor that in. Wardrobe edit, styling, shopping, workshops.
Workshops too? You do workshops?
Yeah, I'll be honest, one of my favorite ones is mothers and daughters.
Oh, I love that. I was just going to say, that is so needed for young girls, young ladies these days, especially because the pull of, peer pressure is so strong. And so they kind of get lost in that wave of sameness, that it's very few that I see standing out or holding out their own style. So I don't know how you would address that, because that is a very strong thing to belong and to be the same. So.
Well, you need a fairly strong personality to withstand the peer pressure of not wanting to look like everybody else. So there's that piece. And even at a young age, even though style evolves, just like a recipe does, where you can say, well, I've decided I'm not going to add that much salt, or I think it needs a little more of this, or I'm tired of this. I want to make it a different way. So we can do the same thing. But even at I'll say like maybe 11, I do a younger version of this, learning your style, which is basically providing a word bank and letting them choose words that they think describes their style or what they want it to be. But the fun thing with the moms is that a lot of times I'm guilty of it when my girls were small, and my son is projecting the colors that I liked. I never really thought about the fact that they were overwhelming. They were just cute dresses. And that's a distinction that we make, when somebody says, oh, Emmy, you look so pretty today, and you look really pretty in that. Or they say, that's a nice dress. So the distinction between you and the harmony and the entirety, and you look beautiful because it's kind of all of a piece, versus that's a cool dress that you're wearing. So there's usually a distinction there. But the neat thing is that, well, because at least I think a lot of mothers do this, we project our personality, we project the colors that we like, we project the styles that we like without realizing it. We just do that. And so this exercise and this bonding with the mothers and daughters is to get them to open up and see that, oh, she likes sporty, funky, artsy, bohemian, and I'm natural, classic. Well, we don't really go together. That's why we shouldn't shop together. We don't like the same things. And you have to know that when you're going shopping with a friend or a sister too, who talks you into getting that dramatic sequined, blazer that you're never going to wear. So they each get the the style exercise, let's see, the girl does it for her mother, and the mother does it for the daughter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then they each do it,
That
separately,
sounds,
what they think they are, and then the mother what. And so it's really lighthearted and fun,
yeah,
and it sort of takes away that
pressure.
angst
Yeah,
and the
right.
tension that can happen when the mother tends to be, it's too short, it's too this, it's too that, and we
Hmm.
have to figure out in our own way how to affirm, 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 and affirm, both one another as women, as adults, looking for ways to compliment, looking to affirm, and for our daughters. Sometimes, we have to. I think we've all been there. Have to make these kinds of decisions. Like let them express themselves as long as if they're not indecent.
Hmm.
It's just not something we would choose or we would want to wear, but it's like the kids that dress themselves and nothing matches. And, when they're little, when they're toddlers. And that was really hard for me.
I bet.
I like things that match. So I was like, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's like clothes sacrilege. It's like you don't do that. But I mean, in the end, you also save the parents, a lot of money if, once they go through that exercise, probably, and realize, what they shouldn't be wasting money on and returning and all that. So,
Yeah. And help
yeah.
guide them. Like if you know what their style is, you can help guide them like where to shop.
Hmm.
Um, Still there's, I mean, I've worked with 13-year-olds and it's just a tough time
Hmm.
it's tough to be 13, and I agree with what you said at the beginning is they just want to look like everybody else. This is what everybody's wearing and this is what I want to wear. And, but happy compromises can be reached, at least, that's what I've seen. Um, but it's work, also work in progress. And you made me think of something else um, that all of this is an investment in yourself. And I'm not saying it like me. I'm saying, like you're worth it and you do things for other people. And I've had somebody come in and help me with, some things with the house, things that I don't, not particularly good at or don't enjoy. And there's some women that are so busy, you know, working in the home, which isn't always is a given, and some also working at home and outside the home, um, and that feeling like I have to have it all together,
Hmm.
And so I like to think of investing in yourself, because once you do this, just say you need a closet audit or and to have somebody shop for you and pick out a core wardrobe, can be as little as 12 items that just mix and match and you feel good every time you wear them, because we all keep going back to the things that we like.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so you may as well have 2 or 3 coordinates to go with that. And
Like a capsule wardrobe is what
yeah,
I can.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think an easy way to think about a capsule is just anything I buy needs to have 2 or 3 friends. It needs to have 2 or 3 coordinates, because otherwise it's an orphan. It hangs in the closet, and every time you open your closet, there it is, saying, you know, you made a bad decision. And so, on that note, I would say there shouldn't be anything in your closet that doesn't fit, doesn't bring you joy, doesn't have any friends.
I
It's
like that. I like
formal,
the friends analogy.
for the occasion. So that might mean that it's whittled down a little bit, but it means that you're going to wear those things. But then you can maybe see that, wow, I have a lot of black.
Mhm.
I can branch
That's
out.
me.
Yeah.
It worked fine in New York City, but not so much in North Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, you got to switch to white.
Yeah. You can even wear it after,
Yeah, that's right.
Labor Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is, I mean, it's something that you outsource too many things already that, why not something that's necessary for yourself? And one other thing that I was thinking of is, how people say manners is just a way of respecting others. You could say that about your looks too, the way you style yourself and present yourself to others, almost like an act of charity for others.
Um, totally. That was going to be my you stole my closing line.
Oh no.
No, it's okay because let me just see. I wrote myself a note because I wrote when we care how we look and not in a superficial way. It's not like you're walking along mirrors and glancing at yourself. It's a wholesome caring. It shows respect for yourself, for starters, and then respects other people. It's like when you walk by a house, you're in a neighborhood and there's a yard that's got overgrown weeds, and then there's a house that's got a pretty garden, and you stop and smell the roses. It's refreshing and it's uplifting. And also it helps your daughters. It helps your son. They kind of use you as a measuring stick, for their future wife.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
I better get out of my jeans now. At least I'm not wearing sweats now. Nothing against sweats. It's a very comfortable outfit, but
Yeah.
I just
comfy sheet.
Comfy sheet. Yeah.
Um,
I have to tell you, Mary Anne, this is fantastic because I've got a long ways to go, but it's a good push in the right direction because, we're especially with the pandemic. I don't know how your business has done with this because, you're now probably doing things through Zoom or FaceTime. I don't know how you do it, but I think a lot of people have like let go. And so, it's either a worsening of your style, or you could use it as a way to like hunker down and really do what you're suggesting. So I think it's great. I think this is a good reminder for all of us. But
it can be right now if we focus just on the here and now and what everybody's going through. I mean, comfort is somewhat of a priority. We're sitting at desks and we need to be able to move. You don't want things that are constrictive and, or tight. So color can do a lot. Just having the right colors, color is free. So, why not choose a color that makes you look healthy and vibrant and good on camera, and it uplifts. It's uplifting, and we're elevating the culture around us, and it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, and we need it right now. So it could be just wearing lipstick, or it could just be wearing earrings. But if you're not an earring person, substitute something else. Instead of a hoodie, wear a sweater. Or instead of sweats, wear a pair of comfortable jeans or cute shoes, or something that helps you sit up a little straighter, and feel like you are a player. That you're in the meeting, or you're trying. And I totally agree that it is charity. It's a charity to for people that have to look at us all day.
Which means your family, your husband, your kids.
Yep.
But yeah, it's an excellent reminder for all of us. And like I said, I was actually telling a friend of mine that we should go through my closet. So this is serendipitous. But I totally am excited about this conversation, and it's really pushing me in the right direction because I do love Black. And I tend to stick, like you said, everything you said is me, except for the sweats. I do jeans.
You're not alone.
Yeah. So, it's for someone who tends towards not the showy and the one who grabs attention, that it's an extra effort, because you don't gravitate towards that. So to have you and your services handy and all your tips just, you bursting with all these wonderful advice is just a great resource to know about and to have. So, is there? Yeah,
Would you like me to send you a tip sheet for
sure.
organizing your closet? I didn't think of that until
Oh,
now.
that would be wonderful. Is it through email or do I?
Yeah, I'll send it through email, and
Oh,
then you can,
wonderful. Yeah. And anyone who would like a copy, is it possible to contact you through, what do you prefer, through your website or through Instagram?
um, I think the website, has my email, so it's
Okay.
maryanne at yourbeststyle.com. So it's
Okay.
pretty easy.
Yeah, I think I'll put it in the description of this video at the end. So
Yeah, and there's
that
a
way.
menu there of things that anything you want, if you want a trend report or,
Mm.
um, I don't know if I have tip sheets there, but I should add that anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it, but there is like a sign up of, what you would like or what you need or something, which is great. So, well, thank you, Mary Anne. This has been fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we end this?
No, I think we want to just consider elevating the culture that we're in, and it's just baby steps, um, and affirming one another so we can help each other that way. Just I love that color lipstick you're wearing, and but
Oh, thank you.
yeah, and mean it. You know what I mean? It's like
Beauty
it's
counter. It's
yeah,
clean beauty.
but
I
it's
have to tell you.
refreshing. It's a color, and color
Mhm.
attracts, and um, and another way to think about it is attractiveness attracts. When we do our
Mhm.
best to look our best, um, it's a good thing. When you look good, you feel good, you do good. Um,
I love that. Yes. Yes, I totally agree. And it comes from the inside. So when you feel confident and affirmed in your worth, then you're able to pass that on to others. So, well, thank you for giving us all this wonderful advice and for the tips that if anyone wants to sign up for that, I will have the link to Mary Anne's website at the bottom of this video with a description. And you can find her there at her website and email her as much as you want for information. And as much as you want.
yeah.
If you have workshops, where would we look for those that information? Is it on the website too,
Well,
or as it have?
typically, mm, typically, I'm asked to do them.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so
It'll be
anybody
it'll
can get a group together and say, you want to do, actually, I've been down to you're in North Carolina? Yeah,
Yep.
I've been down there and done a series of workshops for
Mm.
women and girls. I was doing some girls clubs a few years ago. So yeah, if anybody wants to grab, five,
Yeah, you're not too far.
whatever, 5, 6, 8, 10, so we can I've done a few things on Zoom. I haven't done any workshops in person,
Hmm.
but I
Yeah.
am doing consultations both virtually and in person at this point.
Okay. That's wonderful. Well, we'll definitely, if we get a group together, we
Yeah,
would love to have you either in person or on Zoom. Well, thank you so much, Mary Anne,
and
for coming live with me and for all the work that you do in elevating our culture one woman's closet at a time,
thank
or
you. Love
one
it.
woman's outfit at a time.
Yeah.
And so thank you again to Mary Anne, our closet whisperer. And thank you everyone for those who watched live and those who are watching on replay. I'll put her information in the description. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.